All right, let's kick things off with a bit of a puzzle. Picture this. Two organizations, right? They both adopt the exact same AI coding tool. Fast forward 6 months, one is absolutely thriving, and the other is just drowning in chaos. How is that even possible?
I mean, the results were just night and day. Organization A, they got 35% faster and, get this, no drop in quality. That's a huge win, right? But then you look at Organization B. Sure, they got a little faster, 40%, but their failure rate more than doubled. It shot up from 6% to a really painful 14%. They weren't creating value faster, they were just shipping bugs faster than ever.
So, what gives? We're talking about the same tool, the same investment, but one team is accelerating value and the other is just accelerating burnout. So, what's the hidden variable here? What's going on?
Well, the answer actually comes from some massive research by Google Cloud's DORA team. That's the DevOps research and assessment folks. And what they found is that AI, it's not some magic wand you wave to fix all your problems. No, it's an amplifier. It takes whatever you're already doing and just cranks the volume up to 11, letting you do it bigger, faster, and way more intensely. And really, it boils down to something this simple. If you've got a solid foundation, strong testing, good code reviews, clear processes, AI is going to help you create excellence just faster. But, and this is the big but, if your foundation is shaky, AI just helps you create problems faster. The tool itself is neutral. It's your practices that decide the outcome. Okay, so if the foundation is the key, then what does a strong foundation actually look like? Well, that's where the DORA research comes in again. They identified 7 specific capabilities that literally separate the winners from the losers when it comes to AI. And here they are. Think of these 7 capabilities as the bedrock, the absolute foundation for getting real value from AI. Teams that are strong in these areas, they see massive gains. Teams that aren't, they can actually go backwards. So let's break them down. All right, first up, a clear AI stance. This just means having documented rules so everyone knows what they can and can't do. Number 2, a healthy data ecosystem. You've heard garbage in, garbage out, right? Well, with AI, it's garbage data in, garbage code out. And third, AI accessible docs. This is huge. Your AI tool needs context. It needs to understand your internal systems, and that's how it gets it. Okay, next up are the process-oriented capabilities. Number 4 is strong version control. This is your safety net, plain and simple. It lets you track and, if you need to, roll back any changes the AI makes. And number 5, this one is absolutely critical, working in small batches. Look, AI lets you move at lightning speed, but if your changes are these massive, 1,000-line monsters that nobody can review, you're just driving blind. Small, focused changes are absolutely key. And finally, we have the last 2. Number 6, a user-centric focus. I mean, what's the point of building stuff faster if you're building the wrong stuff? This makes sure all that new speed actually turns into value for your customers. And number 7, a quality internal platform. This is about making sure you don't get all this AI-driven speed just to get stuck waiting for a slow manual deployment process. And here's the payoff, right? This is what it's all about. Get these 7 things right, and you're looking at a real 20 to 30% productivity gain from using AI. But get them wrong, and you can actually end up worse off than where you started. No joke. Now, this leads to a really big, kind of counterintuitive truth. A lot of people look at these capabilities and think of them as guardrails, things that just slow you down. But the data, it shows the exact opposite is true. Let me give you an analogy. Imagine you're driving on a winding mountain road. If there's a solid, sturdy guardrail along the edge of that cliff, you feel confident, right? You can take the turns at a pretty good speed because you know that safety net is there. The safety gives you the confidence to go fast. Okay, now imagine that same road, but the guardrail is gone. What do? You slow down to a crawl. Every turn, you're white-knuckling the steering wheel, terrified of making one wrong move. The lack of safety forces you to be slow and super cautious. It is the exact same principle in software development. Those guardrails, things like automated tests, code reviews, reliable deployment pipelines, they aren't obstacles. They are the safety systems that give your team the confidence to move fast and experiment boldly with AI. So it all boils down to this. When you combine strong guardrails with AI, your velocity increases safely and sustainably. But without them, your velocity increases recklessly. And that inevitably leads to a crash.
Okay, so let's bring this home and make it personal. How do you know if your team, if your practices are actually ready to handle the kind of amplification that AI brings to the table? Think about those 7 capabilities we just went through. Where does your team honestly land? If you're checking off 5 to 7 of them, hey, you're in a great position to see some major gains. If you're more in the middle, maybe 3 or 4, you're probably going to see mixed results. And if you're at 2 or less, you really need to be careful because AI is almost guaranteed to just amplify the problems you already have.
And hey, look, this isn't about judgment. The research shows that most organizations fall right into that 3 to 4 capability range. So the point here isn't to be perfect. The point is to be aware. Just knowing where your gaps are, that's the first and honestly the most important step to getting better. If you take one thing away from this, let it be this. Guardrails don't slow down AI-driven development. They enable it. The very things that feel like they might be slowing you down, all the tests, the reviews, the processes, they're actually the keys that unlock sustainable speed with AI.
And this completely reframes the whole conversation we've all been having about AI for the past couple of years. We've been so focused on asking one single question over and over again. But it turns out we've been asking the completely wrong question. The DORA research makes it crystal clear that the most important question isn't about the tool at all. It's about us. The real question is, are my practices, is my foundation good enough to actually capture the value AI offers? So I'll leave you with this to think about. Of those 7 capabilities, which 2 would you say are your team's strongest? And maybe more importantly, which 2 are your weakest links? Because figuring that out and then working to strengthen them, that is the real key to unlocking the incredible promise of AI.